Camping hack alert! If you want to get rid of the neighbor off the patio side of your RV and have more space for your kids to run around, the day before, just leave the bathroom door all the way open every time you use it. Trust me. But enough about my life. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here, way after hours hanging out with basically security and cleaning staff at this Jayco display, getting a look at all the things that are in store for 24, taking an updated look at the very popular 27 BHB, yeah, you know me, J Feather right here. This is a model, I really like this layout, and the reason being, it works very well for like my family today. But as my kid grows up and maybe moves on and doesn't camp with old mom and dad anymore, I don't know that I need to replace this thing. It's kind of at the upper end of what some people kind of call half-ton towable, and it may depend on the truck and the terrain in question, but it's something that's not too big, it's not too heavy. I love direct entry bathroom doors, and they've become about as rare as hen's teeth, and this year, someone's using their dipstick, Jimmy, because they have full viewing windows in the doors, but most companies fail to put a privacy shade in the bathroom window. Jayco doesn't have that downfall right here. So you can deadbolt it for privacy, or you can open the deadbolt and, I don't know, do your business with friends outside and carry on a conversation, not sure. They've tweaked around the little camp kitchen from last year and a full facelift both inside and out. I think this is one of the best looking generations of J Feather they've had yet, but that's personal and subjective. You might disagree. This is a floor plan some other brands used to make and kind of don't. And J Feather has hung on and remained very popular with it, which I'm glad. It gives you awesome direct-facing entertainment, really good storage. It does have a fold-up, move-up kind of cargo bunk kind of thing, but it doesn't have a rear wall access door because that's where some plumbing runs through, so they were not able to put a rear door in this one. That would just really take this over the top and keep it 100 for me. That's one of the only things I kind of wish this would change. It also has a Camp Queen bed, but pointing out things like that, where this RV shines and where it doesn't, is what I'm going to do in this video for you today, so you can know if this is the right one for you or not. And if you like that approach, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's see what's in store for 24. We're going to hit on a bunch of things in this video, like the updated decor here. Overall, it just feels kind of a little bit lighter and creamier and just a little sharper definition. Like the farmhouse cabinetry of previous years, it would sometimes, it would read as like dirty, even when it was brand new, because the little accents on the inside edge of the hardwood cabinet doors right here, it would be kind of like faded. And it brand new, it looked dirty. Well, you don't have that now. There's also updates like the refrigerator is 25% larger than it was before. Now a 10 cubic foot fridge instead of 8. And it's also one of those doors that can open from either direction. So if you're sitting on the sofa and want to grab a drink, it makes sense the way that you reach for it. If, you're standing in the kitchen and you reach for the fridge, it makes sense the direction that you reach for it. Like, it just flows a little bit better. And for the most part, like the no neck wrecker entertainment center, that hasn't really changed, except for the fact that, folks, you finally, after years of saying it, got your way. J Feathers never had fireplaces before, but they were always kind of built with, it looked like the ability to fit a fireplace, but Jayco would never offer it. Finally, after years of asking, fireplaces are available in some J Feather models, and I think a lot of people are going to be really excited to see that. Now, sitting over here at the sofa, this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, it's big, it's open, it's very social. Like, you got your dining seating and some forward-facing slide-side breeze windows right here, but all of the windows have blackout roller shades, which is really nice. The air conditioning on this, by the way, it's an interesting 14,500 BTU size. And speaking of interesting, there's 3 power ceiling vent fans in this RV. The living room and the kitchen, the biggest room, gets the big XL fan. The front bedroom and the bathroom each get the little 4-inch dollar store fart fans. But, hey, at least the wiring's done, so upgrading that, not too terribly difficult. This, though, I think a lot of people, like I said, are going to be really happy to see. And somebody left it on. It is absolutely like sweltering in this RV. It is hot in here, and it's not just because of all the hot air that I've been spewing out into it, because I haven't been in it that long. Thank you. Now, over here, we're looking at the hide-a-bed, the tri-fold sleeper sofa hide-a-bed, but it offers a little bit more cuddle compliance, so maybe that'll kind of help spark the mood in case you do feel like fighting fitted sheets a little aggressively and filling up the bunks that you have back here in the corner. Also has that nice open air ladder wall. That's a feature I've always been a real big fan of because it makes the RV look and feel nice and big. And it kind of throws some people off. They look down here and they see household and USB outlets and they think, oh, that must be for the bunks. And then they look up here and they don't see anything for the upper bed. The thing is, both bunks have household and USB outlets and those handy little phone pockets. They're just over here on the side. So what they're really good about is anywhere that you're going to sit or sleep, they provide you with some really solid outlet coverage. The bathroom over here, one of the cool things about that, it actually has a locking door in case you need some privacy. And I guess I got to thank Jayco for their decorations. The door kept wanting to swing shut on me, so you know what? That little message in a bottle down there does a heck of a job. Now over here, the toilet space is just absolutely fantastic. That is what I refer to as fairly fluffy friendly. But this little stroke of genius right here, the entry door to the bathroom, the direct entry bath, has a full viewing window on it. A lot of manufacturers never put a shade or anything right there. Notice how Jayco does. Now, what's interesting is the primary entry door does not have a privacy shade, but I think if we're gonna decide which room gets one privacy shade, it'd probably be this one. The headroom in the shower is a little tough if you're as tall as I am, because this also doesn't have the world's biggest skylight, but I spend a few minutes in the shower. I spend the rest of my time out here. Overall, I feel like I could probably make do with it and make it work. And once again, that bathroom door does have its own little lock mechanism. Now, one of the other really cool details that if you've never shopped for RVs, if you've never owned an RV, you don't think about this stuff, but having separate curtains for the upper and lower beds, that's really handy. Backing up here a little bit again, not only that, but you've got the blackout privacy shades, and that is a folding cargo bunk, though it does lack a rear entry cargo door. Again, the reason being there's some things like some plumbing in the way down there that would just kind of prevent that from being, possible and available. The table is kind of interesting on this one, the way it sort of has those folding legs and it floats around. I like that it's not a knee knocker pedestal dinette base though, especially since I keep getting thicker in the midsection. I'm what the RV industry calls a wide body at this stage. Technically, I'm no longer standard body. And I like to cheat the table over toward my wife and kid a little bit. Now, the cabinetry in this, they've only gone with one single decor now. And it is still all lumber core. If you don't know what that means, basically, it screws into wood comprising the stiles and rails, the box part of the cabinetry, while the doors themselves, the framework of the door, is actual hardwood. The J-Feather series here that we're in, it's not completely ventless in the floor, but they have done some work to try to get the vents out of the floor wherever they possibly could. There are a couple places, like you might have noticed, I think there was one like in the bathroom that some folks might not like. But again, I hope you appreciate that. I'll go out of my way to kind of point stuff like that out, because there's things that are awesome, and sometimes there's things that are not as awesome. And I think before you cough up a whole lot of money, you deserve to know what you're getting into. Pop-up power tower over there, in the countertop. One of the neat things about that, if you're not using it for like active appliance mode, the top of it actually is a wireless phone charge pad. So that can be a very useful widget overall right there. The dinette, you notice it does have those doors also for storage. I think I opened that up. I can't remember. And I mean, any parent recognizes the timeout seat, especially for the husbands. Now, it's mostly a split sink. It doesn't technically go all the way up to the top. I don't think I opened that little detail for you previously. It is a big, full sliding privacy door, and you see how it does have a latch on the wall over there so that you can maintain privacy in case the RV happens to be rocking and someone forgets to come knocking. They also put this little privacy trim right here so that there's always a little bit of an overlap, which is kind of nice. Just nice little details, I think. Again, I said wherever you're sitting and sleeping, you have household and USB outlets, and around the bed is certainly no exception to that. I think in years past they had a heat vent on the floor. Again, a couple of years ago they kind of tweaked that around. One of the kind of challenges with this model is that from the factory it is a Camp Queen. Now, if you're looking here, yeah, there is room to put a True Queen in it, but you will absolutely be practically climbing over the bed. This model, though, very popular. A lot of people out there, I have to believe somebody has put a True Queen into this. So I'd kind of like to hear a little bit from the audience. You know, anyone put a True Queen in this? What was your experience? Would you do it again given the chance? That's the question. In the meantime, taking a look at the storage all around the bedroom right here. It's kind of interesting. There's dresser drawers built basically right down by the floor. On either side of the bed here. And then you've got your, it's either dresser space or hanging wardrobe towers on either side of the bed. I hear a lot of people say, why do I need hanging clothing storage when I'm camping? I fold all my clothes. And some people can't get by without hanging a shirt up. I don't know. Different strokes, different folks. All I know is that Jayfeather has got their bases covered. The travel access also has you covered with the slide totally closed. Like if I back up, you can see I'm standing all the way up in the bedroom, so there's no question from the door we can get to there. The thing is, you can slip slide through here. You can get to like all your kitchen stuff, like the refrigerator. I mean, very little in this RV is not accessible with the slide closed. We can get to the bunks. We can get to the bathroom. So the thing is, this is a dual entry door model, and you can come and go from either door at destination or at a travel stop. When it comes to towing, whether this is or is not half-ton capable is going to depend on specific capacities of the truck, but also where you taking it. Because 7,600 pounds GVW maximum weight. Okay, some tow package half tons, that's nicely within there. The hitch weight, not too awful bad, but if you're gonna go up and down really steep inclines or you're gonna go through crazy windy zones, you may not like the towing experience with a half ton on one of these. A heavier, physical truck like a 3/4 ton, just made to be able to handle some of this stuff, might be a little bit better solution, but it kind of depends. Now, obviously, the Obi-Wan Kenobi blue lightsaber action going on all over the place out here, but I like how they're upgrading from the Morse code ... sort of LED nose cap lights, and those hard beams just look really good to me. Now, you see over here, this one has a nose cap. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you may not have seen nose caps. They are potentially available on certain models. It's just not one of those things where every single Jayfeather is not going to automatically by default have a nose cap now. But man, it doesn't really add any function to the RV, but God bless, it looks really, really good, don't they? It is all prepped and ready for full side and rear observation cameras, which is cool. And especially on an RV this long, especially if you're not a very experienced tower and goer, having the extra ability to keep eyes on your blind spots and stuff can be really, really useful. And look at the patio awning space on this. Holy crap, man. That is massive. Clears both entry doors very easily, even has a center support because it's so darn large. Speaking of supports, look at your stabilizer jacks down below. This has the new quick drop stabilizers. They basically have an additional anti-jiggle bar built into them. Very technical talk today. I know, guys. Keep up now. And the idea here is that, especially in a bunkhouse, when there's a lot of, high energy, s'more sugar infused bodies bopping around this sucker, it really does a fantastic job of keeping the RV from, rattling around, no shake, rattle, and roll action here. Goodyear tires with factory TPMS, and they've revised this a little bit this year. For the most part, they've opened it up, which for the folks who don't like any kind of camp kitchen, just being able to have storage is kind of nice. So I like how they're sort of bleeding that difference right there. And again, I know if you've never owned an RV, this looks very weird and awkward and uncomfortable. Having a door wide open to the outside with a toilet staring at it. Well, keep in mind, chances are you're probably not going to leave that open unless, again, you do follow my little camping hack there and find a way to get rid of the neighbors, Perfect opportunity to ask them what was for dinner last night or what's for dinner tonight. Then say, hey, can we come over? And instead, they're probably going to vacate the premises, even if they are seasonal campers. But there's a deadbolt on that door that you can reach from the toilet, so you don't got to worry about any unexpected surprises. Now, since this RV has even a mini camp kitchen, it will automatically include the bumper mount griddle, which obviously not out for display. That's up in the front pasture. We'll see that in a few minutes. But since the gas hookup, since the gas comes out the backside, that is officially a propanus, ladies and gentlemen. That's when the gas comes out the backside. 250-pound rated ladder, getting us up to that fully walkable Magnum Truss roof system that Jayco does, which, if you're not familiar, basically, J-Feather roofing is rated to hold more weight than anything else in this comparable class. And that's also a major structural item, because something people don't realize, when you're going down the road, all the violence from that towing experience gets translated up from those tires through the walls to every fastener, every cabinet, and everything. And then eventually, whatever isn't absorbed by all that stuff on the way has to get expressed. The roof of an RV actually gets some of the most violence that you'll find anywhere in a towing situation. And it's an area that not a lot of manufacturers pay the attention they should. A heavier roof will actually keep the whole thing held together better. Now remember, these do have that larger refrigerator standard, and they no longer have a gas electric refrigerator option. If you caught some of my industry update videos I put out, I called that. I saw that coming a mile away. Very like the suppliers of the gas electric refrigerators. Basically, since fewer and fewer of them are being bought, it's no longer economically viable for them to do that. Well, to help offset the power draw in a boondock scenario of a 12-volt fridge, these now have 200 watts of solar standard up on the roof, along with a 30-amp controller. So if you want to expand on that a little bit, you have the opportunity. In this front passenger, they also have some really minimal accommodations, but technically are inverter prepped. And that would be located basically right over here. You see that wire hanging down. Someone was kind enough to display that for us, that big white wire. You splice into that, you wire in an inverter, and I think there's 3 outlets in J-Feathers that you could power household appliances off your battery. I also really like how nicely they fully finish off that front compartment there. And again, this is where the griddle and the J-port mounting bracket call themselves home when you're going down the road. Now, this also has the handy key-like system. So basically, it's one key to rule them all, Lord of the Rings style, where you don't have to have different keys for different doors and compartments and all that. Just simpler, easier camping, man. So thanks again for tuning in. Let me know what you think about it. What do you think? Have you seen it the year before? What do you think about the updates? Are they moving the right direction? One of those things that'll kind of help you with that is being able to know what the price tag is, which is why I leave you a link in the video description, or scan that QR code with your phone if you're just watching off like YouTube TV or something, and you have all that information right there for you. Now, keep in mind, we don't do hidden dealer fees. We just do everything else. So when you're ready, we're ready. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.